Member for Nelson Creston.
Mr. Speaker, BC has the highest student loan interest rate in the country, on top of an average student debt load of $27,000. In June, the Minister for Advanced Education said in the Vancouver Sun, and I quote, "The ministry has been working on a review of potential changes for student financial assistance. Changes," she said, "were slated for this fall." Now, the beginning of the school year has come and gone, Mr. Speaker, and students are yet again racking up debt. They want to know if this minister is actually working on the issue. Will the minister table today in this House that review? And if she cannot table it in this House, please explain to students what's the holdup.
Hear, hear. Minister of Advanced Education.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And since this is my first opportunity to address the member opposite in the House this session, I'd like to, in the spirit of Jack Layton, love is better than anger, wish the member opposite all the best. I understand she was recently married. And in that vein, but Mr. Speaker,
Continue, Minister.
But Mr. Speaker, at every turn, I hear criticism, negative, destructive criticism about our top quality, world-class post-secondary education system in BC, and it's absolutely unfounded. Mr. Speaker, students in BC have access to over $700 million of student grants, Canada student grants, upfront grants and student loans, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we have a good accountability and affordability for both our students and taxpayers. Mr. Speaker, we invest annually over $1.9 billion in our post-secondary education system. And Mr. Speaker, with the financial support of BC taxpayers, our students pay only 1/3 of the actual cost of their education.
Member has supplemental.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you so much to the Minister for acknowledging what was a very happy day this summer for me. But we need to get to the issue at hand here. That is what question period is all about, after all. And of course, students, graduates, and instructors all agree that student debt is much too high in this province. And it's not just them, Mr. Speaker, it's the presidents of BC universities. They've called on this government to make a change. And in their submission to this review, they said that it is now time to improve BC's student aid program so the province is in line with other key jurisdictions across the country. And the minister mentioned that students in BC have access to $700 million of grants from the federal government, but not a dime to financial needs-based grants from this government, Mr. Speaker, not a dime. So to the minister, will she let these groups know that they are being heard, release this review, or will she just admit that this is just another example of this government shuffling papers and not getting the job done?
Hear, hear. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And this is an interesting line of questioning, especially in light of two recent reports that come out this week. One of them, the Canadian University Report, which shows that coming to BC for a post-secondary education is a great bargain. And the other one, the Maclean's University Report, that ranks several of our universities and colleges in Canada as being one of the best.